This story comes to us from NBCnews.com. Going back to Minneapolis. You're going to love this one, man. You're going to love it. A former Minneapolis police officer was sentenced to around 9 months in jail Wednesday for a crash that killed an innocent driver as the officer pursued a stolen vehicle. That's right. He is sentenced to jail for a pregnancy term, 9 months, for vehicular homicide. Now, if it was somebody that wasn't a police officer, do you think they would get 9 months for vehicular homicide? Really? He got less than a year. The former officer, Brian Cummings, was sentenced to 270 days in county jail after he pleaded guilty to criminal vehicular homicide, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office said. So, oh my God, I don't even know where to go with this one. So this Brian Cummings was chasing a stolen vehicle July 6th of 2021 and ran a red light before he crashed into an uninvolved Jeep, killing Lenneal Frazier, 40 years old, according to the prosecutors. County Attorney Mary Moriarty said, "Today's sentencing sends an important message that every person in our county will be held accountable for their actions when they break the law." He ain't being held accountable. He's getting a 9-month jail sentence for vehicular homicide. That's a felony. Misdemeanors, you get up to a year. This guy committed vehicular homicide. He's been convicted, and he gets less than a year. We're sending a statement. What, the cops get lighter sentences than the rest of the universe? Cummings was charged in October 2021 with second-degree manslaughter and criminal vehicular homicide. He probably made a plea deal, but it took a year and a half. Lenneal's brother, Richard Frazier, asked the court for jail time. He said, "We're asking, please send him to jail. It's not a lot of time, but it's something." Cummings crashed as he was chasing a suspect in an armed carjacking and robbery. He had his lights and sirens on during the chase, which began around 12:30 a.m. and lasted around 20 blocks, according to a criminal complaint. Now, he was traveling at about 90 miles per hour before he ran the red light. At the time he struck Frazier's Jeep, his speed was 78 miles per hour, the complaint says. He probably slammed the brakes. Frazier had the green light at the intersection. Cummings pleaded guilty to criminal vehicular manslaughter this April. He apologized to the Frazier family court. He said, "I'd like to take this time to acknowledge the great pain and suffering that the Frazier family is experiencing, and I'd like to also offer my most heartfelt apology." That's according to a video from KARE. And I don't know, if I was the Frazier family, I'd be like, speak to the hand. Face don't want to hear it. Yeah, I know the 90s want their statement back. But look, 9 months, man, for vehicular homicide. But yeah, he ran a red light. They said he was going approximately 90 miles per hour and then hit this Jeep at approximately 78 miles per hour. The Jeep was going through a green light. He was running a red light. Even here locally, you'll see some of them do it sometimes. They're supposed to slow down and whoop, 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 whoop at the intersection before they go through. And in fact, fire trucks do that almost every time. Just about every time, fire trucks do that. I've seen an ambulance or two go flying through the light. I seen one ambulance, they didn't even have their lights on. The light turned red and they boom, went through it and then slowed back down as they got through the red light. An ambulance did that, AMR. I saw them do that. I was like, what the hell? But, you know, these people in these emergency vehicles, especially these cops, they think they can just drive. However, I've seen cops do all kind of weird stuff. One cop from the Yucaipa PD put a spotlight in my face while I'm driving down the street. And when I got in behind him, I was going to follow them, and when they pull over, I was going to say, yeah, do you have a question or something? But you just blinded me with your light while I'm driving. Do you have a question or something? So I get behind them to do that. They take off, go through 2 stop signs without stopping, and I lost them because they sped up and flew around a corner through another stop sign. I saw their taillights as they turned into the police station, so I drove over to the back gate of the police station to see what was going on. Why are you spotlighting my face while I'm driving? My point is, of that story, here you got law enforcement across the country just drive however they want, do whatever they want. Hey, what am I going to get, a ticket? I'm in a police car. Well, if you're in Orlando, Florida, that's right, Seminole, the deputies will pull your ass over. And if you're a cop, and if you better stop, or you get charged.